Well, it's round 3 of VDRL, and boy, what a season it has been already. 2 crazy races already, and I'm ready for a third one. And tonight we are in Silverstone. First, we're going to Saudi Arabia and then Spa. Joining me in the commentary box is Nedzo. Nedzo, what are you looking forward to for round 3 of VDRL Season 9?
Well, we're at a circuit where, obviously, I've now completed my statistical analysis of VDRL, and all of the drivers on the grid, none of them have more than one win around here. Kevin has none. I don't think Ruben has one. I think Toro does. But this is a bogey track for a lot of drivers, and it's seen a lot of first-time winners and one-time only winners in VDRL history. I think we could see an underdog victory here.
I mean, Silverstone is a track where, it's more of a high-speed track. You can get safety cars around here. Tire wear is usually on the higher end. I'm not too sure on this game, if I'm completely honest. This game is usually higher compared to previous F1 games. But first, we have qualifying. Nedzo, the first 2 races, is there any standout performance or standout driver which you did not expect to be that high up the grid?
Drivers I didn't expect to be that high up the grid. That's a very hard question to answer because I can't really think of one. Before you said ones that I didn't expect to be that good, I'd have said Tias because Tias is the current championship leader and has definitely been the best performer so far this season. But you'd expect him to do that after what he was doing last season. I can't really think of any drivers who have really stood out for me. I mean, Nilu's been up there and so have a couple of other drivers, but I don't really think there's any standout surprises.
And someone who just jumped in the commentary box is Will. Will, how are you doing tonight? Ed, third race, almost said third season of VDRL, third race of VDRL Season 9. Are you hoping that the trend continues of good races so far?
Well, hello everyone. Yes, well, we've had some awesome racing action already this season. Hopefully, we're in Silverstone, my home Grand Prix, alongside Mavis as well. I'm sure some other drivers on there are British, but we know Britain. It's a popular track. There's plenty of corners, a lot of straights, so strategy will probably be quite an interesting one as well. But these are Season 9 top drivers. I was just, as I came in, I saw you guys were talking about some drivers who hadn't stand out properly, but I have to say Nilu, I mean, as I was saying, he didn't really think Nilu hasn't stand out too much, but I think Nilu's done an awesome job this season. Considering he was just sat in the mid-pack last year, but I mean, he has gone up this year and he's already put himself on for a couple of podiums as well, so he's definitely improving well, compared to last stat.
100%. Right now we're on board with Kevin, who I had a look at his run of form recently. Kevin, podium in the first round, and in the second round, 22 points. I think that's P4 with the new point system we have. And apparently I'm just hearing there will be rain, either in qualifying or the race. And, Silverstone, British weather, Will, you should know it all too well.
Well, yeah, here the UK weather, well, it's never promising, but there is talks of rain. And when it's raining in the UK, it's not a tiny bit, it is quite a bit. So that will be very interesting in the race. So qualifying will really be the key part for all these drivers on who really can set the quickest lap time. I mean, it's interesting who will be setting it. Obviously, TR will be going up to the front row as well. But we've got Hungry Kevin. Kevin was affected quite a lot last round, and Ned, I can't remember if he get a puncher. I can't remember if it was a puncher.
Yes, I think he did. That was just a nightmare. But this is a man who has, I think it's 47 poles in VDRL history, and going into a wet race where DRS weren't being activated, and it's just generally harder to overtake in the wet. If he can start on pole, there's a good chance he'll just romp off to a win.
Very true. And also following in the wet around this game, because they've increased the spray. I know most people drive with particles off, but it is very difficult to follow. So yeah, pole position is also more important. And dirty air around a track like this with high-speed corners. So in theory, it should be very. The drivers should be able to feel the dirty air a lot more, especially through this section right here, Maggots, Beckett's Chapel.
Yeah.
Oh, as Kevin's had a spin.
And as we were talking, we were talking about all of that, and as we were saying, yeah, Kevin's come round, and that was not good. He was on the lap at that time, so he obviously was pushing too hard. I believe he might have just touched the curb, maybe he was off from the apex, wasn't too sure on that one. But the home man here, Mavers, let's keep an eye on him as well. Let's see what he can do. He is on the lap time as well, going through Maggots and Beckett's. He's absolutely flying. I don't know if he is up on his lap time. I'm sure he is. And it's just 103.1 for a second sector, so he's definitely on for at least hopefully a top 5 in this group. But there's only 14 minutes to go, and Mavers, he did get the what did he get the? Oh, sorry, as I was saying, Tiaz 126.2. Right, the time to beat, and Mavers is just coming up through the line. What's this going to be? It's going to be P2, the 127.1, still basically almost a second off Tiaz, so that's incredible.
Yeah, the Tiaz pace is just ridiculous, but if it does rain, we might be able to see, because I don't think we've seen a lot of these drivers race in the rain, either F124 or F125. At least I haven't. So, Mavers, he usually goes very good in the wet. And what is that Alpine doing? Was that Jigs? First of all, first time commentating on Jigs for a while. Glad to see him back, but I think he's forgotten how the pit lane works.
It seems so, doesn't it? As he
26.4, only 2/10 behind Tiaz.
That is incredible. And I was saying Nilu is an interesting driver, and he's one to keep an eye on here because he is quick, and when he finds the gaps, he will take them. He's not a shy driver, that's for sure. That's what we like in this league as well. And speaking along this league, if you guys do want to come along and join this league, race with these drivers as well, please join all of our socials. We have got Discord, we've got YouTube, Instagram, X, TikTok, all of the possible. And if you would like to be a commentator, if you would like to be a steward, if you would like to be a driver, or if you just want to be here for the chats and giggles, please come along. We are a very, very friendly community, and we love all the kind of support we can get. So please, if you can, just drop a follow on this, and you'll be seeing us every Friday, obviously until the season ends, when we usually have a 2-week break. But yeah, please do join in.
Yeah, Ramos is currently on a lap, and his teammate Tia, so pressure is very high for him to just be in the points really and help out his team. As Purple through Sector 2 apparently, a 128, just remember Mavers, I think he did a 131 through the first 2 sectors of the lap, and now coming through, and really from, I think it's Vale, or Adrian, or pretty much going on to the Wellington Straight, all the way to right here, which, this is Vale, never mind, the Vale chicane. Pretty much flat out, there's not a proper heavy braking zone until there. Sure, you have Stowe, you have Brooklyn, but those are all full. As our stream has lagged, so Ned, you're gonna have to take over.
We're going to have to probably, but yeah, that's essentially how this circuit is, especially on this game. It's so much more high speed, and you feel like you're doing a lot less work, but you'll be working the tyres still. Remember, this circuit, for a long period of Formula 1 history, was just the fastest circuit on the calendar. I think it was in 1985, Keke Rosberg set the fastest lap in Formula 1 history, the first ever lap above 160 miles an hour average speed, and it wasn't broken until 2002. When the cars had progressed a lot further in terms of, I think that's just how fast Silverstone was.
Oh, Mick's had a spin as well.
It's something up with the tyres, because that is 2 drivers who've done it. That was Kevin, and then now Mick is on it. But Mick was actually up for the purple sector, sector 2, so he was absolutely flying through there. Kevin is restarting his lap once again, now coming through Cops Corner. He is going to try and aim to get at least in the top 3. We know he's got the pace. We know he had his 14 pole streak, or was it something like that? It was absolutely mental until Ruben broke that. I can't remember where it was, but I remember him breaking that. That was last season. Yeah. Sorry,
it might have been Portugal.
Yeah, I think it was Portugal. So that was very impressive from him. But Kevin would like that streak once again. But so far this season, he has not got a pole position. So will he be able to do it in Britain? Well, that'd be very interesting. But I'm sure the fans would love the homeboy to do it as well. But that's amongst all the other drivers, and that's P2. So he has increased in his lap time, but he's still. 4 thirds, which is incredible, but it's still not enough to beat Tiaz.
And just what you point out about the tires, both of those spins were at the end of the lap or the final sector, so tires heating up, possibly a lot of load is being put on the tires ahead of that section. Maggots, Beckett's, Cops, all of that as well. So yeah, and tell you what, if you have a spin in a qualifying, this is a qualifying session, for me, you're usually a bit careful through that section. So Kevin, you might have been a bit cautious going through Chapel and onto the straight there, the Hanger straight. So he's probably at least got another 2/10 in there, but he just does not want to go over the edge. Of course, this is pretty much his bank run now, and with only 9 minutes left in the session, you'll probably only get one more flying lap in, as Tiaz is on a hot lap as well. But also didn't show, or he joined a bit late, or I think got kicked from the lobby. Anyway, and he set up 133. So most of the drivers seeming to be around the high 102s, low 103s, coming around the second sector, split into the third. And I gotta say, this next section, when you nailed Vale Club and onto the Hamilton straight, it's so satisfying, man. Just enough curb, not on the red sausage curb, getting good traction out of here, and then onto the Hamilton straight. And it's gonna be a 127.1 for Lincho, up to P8 he goes.
And as we've been doing that, well, only Ron Williams is on track at the moment. Ruben is currently in the pit lane. He's waiting just for the tracks to clear up a bit. But Toro was not hanging about and has just put himself onto P3 for the grid. Still not close enough, where he's about a 10th off there from Kevin. So still not close enough, but he's still got 8 minutes left of the session. But Ruben, really, if he wants to get a few laps in, he should probably head out, hopefully soon.
Absolutely. I mean, here's the thing. Toro, he went up to P3, solo lap for him. Look how close it is at the front, though. I mean, Tiaz 400th out of Kevin, Toro a 10th behind that, and then a further 10th Nilu, and Ramos also not too far off. So it'll be interesting to see Ruben now also on his outlap then. So it is very close in the fight for pole position, and as Nedzo mentioned, pole position, if it does rain the entire race, it could really decide who wins it, or even the podium for that matter, because it's just so difficult to overtake in the wet. You really need a big pace advantage, and if the gap is this close in the dry, we have to see if these guys put their wet weather practice in.
Yeah, it's really hard as well. If you think about if it is going to rain, we'll find out how heavy it's going to rain as well.
Yeah, could be, could be a light sprinkle.
Yeah, well, that could be the interesting bit, and hopefully it will be a heavy sprinkle, which leads into a drier, more line. That's actually what we had not long ago. But yeah, no, as I was saying, it was I forgot what I was going to say, but now I remember. Yeah, with these tyres as well on the wet, it's quite hard to. As it's quite a fast-flowing track. Think about Cops Corner. I mean, you've got to be so cautious through there, not just out the rear and overshoot it, and worse, take someone out and yourself as well. So all drivers will just be taking a lot more caution than they would in the dry, 100%.
Nilu about to finish this lap now, goes up to P2, so Nilu really putting a shift and a half in that Alpine lane, going up to P2 and not far off from Tiaz then, sandwiching himself between Tiaz and Kevin in P3 then. Ruben still not out of the pit lane. Is he going to do a one and done lap? We have seen it before where he does take pole position, but I think the competition has improved massively since 1, 2, even 3 seasons ago, with Tiaz, Nilu now being a contender at the front, and of course this man right here, man who had 9 or 10 pole positions in a row. He's looking to get another one, and it will be interesting to see if he can do it today then as he starts this lap. Will take us through this hot lap by Kevin Mandai.
So we're now coming to turn 1. You just want to be over the curb, not too much, just following through onto the apex. Now brake down 2 gears, maybe 3 gears there, what are you feeling, and stretch out wide, back, cut into the apex, and back on the circle gently now, so you're not going to spin the wheels or get onto the grass. DRS wide open now, down the back straight. He is going to have to try and find quite a bit of seconds. Hopefully, sector 1. He is 3,000th of a second up on his time now. He is absolutely flying. Well, he's not really flying because he's got pressure now of Tiaz as well. Tiaz is in the pit lane. He'll be watching him closely now. But we are now coming up to Cops Corner. We've seen a lot of historical moments here with Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. But hopefully, we won't see much of that today. We've already got a yellow flag from McLaren. I think that's him just laying it by through Cops Corner. Perfect through there. Didn't really lift off too much, just had to be gentle. Through Maggots and Beckett's now, he's just got to be gentle all through here and not try and do what he did earlier in the session. But he's just done a perfect bit of a snap mode, but he's absolutely fine. And here he comes now, purple sector 2, he is a 10th, he is absolutely flying now, he's managed to find that grip that he needed. Here he comes now, he's barely got any corners left, he's literally in the last sector. Can he manage to get this last chicane well? Well, I'm sure he can. It's Kevin Van Dijk, can he do it now, coming up to the last corner? Where's this going to put him? Is this going to be provisional pole position? Will it be a 126.2? Here he comes up to the line, it is, it's a 126.0. So Tiaz has dropped down to second position, and Tiaz will not like that at all.
Yes, we'll have to respond 2 tenths as well, or 1.5 tenths. It's very hard to read the purple text. Yeah, it's about 1.5 tenths then. Tiaz, can he find that? Remember that, as Mavers smashes the DRS sign, as he was also up by 1.5 tenths. So, yeah, just a small mistake, running wide there, and I think that's his qualifying session over, unless he has enough fuel for, yeah, pretty much 2 more laps then, as he won't be able to save up the back sheet. Yeah, anyway, Tiaz, that is still his banker run, his first run, of course. Kevin, that's his 3rd attempt, 2nd official time. Tiaz nearly total, and Stay Daisy, how has they gone up to P5? That is very impressive.
That is impressive. We've seen Stay Daisy actually with an impressive performance in and all the other races as well. Their race pace is on fire. So, considering he's got the qualifying pace as well, that's what we like as well. But Ruben is still in the pit lane. He is not coming out, which is interesting because he's barely got any time left, and I really don't think
it'll have to be in the next 20-30 seconds or so.
It would really have to. It really have to be that. I mean, Neds have done the pit lane because it's sunny skies at the moment. I'm sure it's forecasted rain hopefully soon, as I have seen quite a few dark clouds. Can you see all the team principals stressing a bit now?
Maybe, as I said, Ruben has, I think, left the session for some reason, but he is not in it at the moment. So I doubt that he's going to get a run in unless he gets invited now, like Martin's doing it as we speak.
I doubt he'll be able to get a lap in.
But this is Ruben we're talking about, the fastest guy in the entire.
He may be fast, but I don't think his internet is 3 seconds fast. And then he needs to get in the vehicle.
You never know.
Anyway, Jigs is on a lap. It's been a while since I've said those 3 words. Is that Jigs is those 4 words? It's been a while since I've said that. Coming through now, Maggots. This section as well. Fantastic part of racing. A bit tricky to fall. Right on track. Limits going through Beckett's now a bit wide through Chapel. Once again, right on the white line there. Coming out onto the hangar straight then. There's a car further up in front. That's a Mercedes. Should not affect him too much now. Going into stow. He's only got a handful of corners left then. Early on throttle. Run it right out to the edge. Right to track limits now. Coming into Vale for the final braking zone of the lap. Make sure you get a clean run. Accelerate hard. A bit unsure on throw then as the rear was sliding and it was sliding even more. And tell you what, that right there gave me flashbacks of season 5, I want to say, where Jigs and Kevin collided on that main straight there, and that's pretty much what happened, just with an extra car to the left.
And that was very interesting as well. I remember being in some league, and he was coming up. I think it must have been the last lap of the race. It was in Mercedes. I can't remember who it was. And he was coming to the last lap. It was in Austria, last corner, and he just got the throttle a bit too much and completely mucked it up and smashed the front wing and ruined his race completely, and he retired. And it was just devastation from him completely. I think he left straight after that. Hopefully, we won't see that from Jix because he was up at the front. In I think Saudi Arabia, he was up near the front. But on board with Tiaz now. This is a man to keep an eye on. Will he get
pole position back?
Sorry?
Can he steal pole from Kevin, or provisional pole?
That would be the interesting part. On board with Tiaz. On board with Tiaz now. He is purple. He is up on his lap time. Kevin will be... Well, he actually won't be watching because he's on an outlap at the moment. Kevin is going to go once again, but Tiaz is going to go even quicker this time because here he comes now up to Cop's corner. He's going to try and get this pole position that he wants to secure him on the front place of the grid in the front row. and hopefully beat Kevin at that point. It looks like the Williams are out of contention so far for that because Toro is only in P4. Through Magnus and Beckett's now, which hopefully the Section 2 will be coming up to an end now. We'll be able to tell if he is up on his lap, and he is 2/10 off his lap. He's going even quicker. This session is now done. This is getting interesting. Tiaz is now coming up, and he's finishing off his sector any minute now. He's just got to take it easy through the chicane, and then he will possibly be our pole position sitter here in Britain. But here he comes now through the last corner. Where is this going to be? Will it be pole position? Here he comes up to the line. And it is. It's a 1:25.8. That is pole position to beat. And will Kevin do that?
I don't know. Kevin, he started the lap right behind the Williams. It was chaos as like 8 or so drivers were on top of each other going into the final corner. Now into the gravel as well. He was a 10th faster. Like I mentioned, chaos. Everyone wanted a bit of a gap to the car in front, and I think he crossed the line with like 2 seconds to spare, and right on the gearbox of an Alpine or a Williams. Then can he still find 2/10? He was a 10th up, but lost some time going wide through Lutfield. Then it's gonna be very interesting now. Coming through Chapel, keeps it well clean now. Is he improving? No, he's 3.5 tenths down. I don't think he'll be able to steal pole position from Tias this time round. Then Ruben, he's not gonna make it. He's down and out of it. He'll be starting P20. Jake's further behind. Kevin into the pit lane. That's over. It's not his fault. That's what happens when you leave your lap late. Well, if you leave it late, you're risking yourself to get stuck behind traffic, not being able to warm up your tires, and also that mistake, running wide, certainly did not help him.
It's faster than to the straight and completes all his car to bits, but somehow it's not retired him, weirdly. So he is actually 9th fastest, so he will be starting. But yeah, you could see Kevin's frustration as he hit himself straight into the wall. But Tiaz, our pole sitter here in Britain with a 1:25.8, and he knew he had to respond, and he did it perfectly, almost being him by about 2/10 there. So Tiaz is our pole sitter, and that has been now for. No, he didn't get pole. He's missed down pole a few times, I think, this season.
And I'm just saying that apparently Kevin can get a quali ban for next race for crashing on purpose.
And that will not be good at all, because that
is already like 34 points behind in the championship.
But if he wants to keep up with the championship hopes, well, that is the worst part. So Tiaz, our pole sitter, with a 1:25.8, starting alongside with Kevin and the pride just missing out. Third position goes to Nilu with a 1:26.2. Fourth, Toro. Fifth, Stayed Daisy. Sixth, Remus. Seventh, Dincho after a retirement. Eighth, Mather. Ninth, after 10th, Ruby. And over to you, Yellow.
So 11th is Mick Luchik in P12. Werner, Dylan, AC, Jigs. Hold up. And where was I? I was in Jigs. Hold up. I need the stream to get down there. Anyway, hold up. Yep, now. So P16 was ACM, P17 Jigs, P17 G-Man Gaming, P18 Osman, P19 Nicholson, and last, not setting a lap, is Ruben. Guys, oh my god, it is really wet.
Yeah. I wanted to interrupt you, but you're busy doing your thing. It is the wettest conditions that I've seen on this game so far. This is going to be...
There is a swimming pool in the fast lane.
I think it's the same swimming pool that Will's mic has entered.
Yeah, Will is on location just for VDRL.
I am here.
He took the race down the 2-hour drive, and now he's down at Silverstone. Anyway,
why don't you take predictions? Because you're down there.
I've got an umbrella, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am under the water at the moment. Please help me. So, yeah, this is wet conditions, and I told you when it rains here, it rains hard. So, all the drivers will now be keeping an eye on strategies on what to go for. But our pole sitter Tiaz, that will be the interesting one. We know he's good in the rain because we saw him in Spa, but he did miss the braking point actually into turn one, went wide, and that, I'm trying to remember who, it was one of the V-Carbs who absolutely smashed it through. So, he is absolutely flying now. So, this is going to be interesting, Yellow, because I want to know who's going to win.
I have no idea. I mean, this is wide open. We did say that if you lead through pole position, you have a good shot. But that's like intermediate conditions. When it's what I'm assuming is full wets, it's so tricky to judge because every lap the breaking point is somewhat different. One slide and you're in the grass. One look up and you can say hello to the barrier. So it's very tricky. I reckon we will have quite a few safe cars here tonight.
Well, let's do our usual. Hopefully we do.
Started.
Go ahead, Yellow.
Time has started. Thank you very much, Will. Well, we hear the countdown, which can only mean one thing. Round 3 of VDRL Season 9 is about to kick off then. It is a pouring Silverstone Grand Prix. 3, 4, rubber lights are on. Tia's on pole, and it's lights out. And away we go. It's a good start from the post here. Not so much to the man starting in P2. He's already being overtaken by Nilu. Round outside. This time around, it seems like Nilu's made the first corner. There's a couple of cars going off wide then. And that is, Stay Daisy being one of them. Further behind the Mercedes of Roby looking to get involved as well. Everyone has managed to pick out the breaking point of Verge. There's a few cars on the entrance, but now 3 wide. Going through Adrian and now onto the Wellington straight now. Stay Daisy, Froby, and Mick all involved. Look at ACM as well further behind us. This is absolute chaos. You have a few cars on wets, but the leaders have chosen intermediate. So very interesting to see. Now, the Racing Bull and the Aston Martin side by side through Brooklyn. Oh, so close. The Racing Bull of ACM just getting past. I think that was the last pass. That was Aston Martin actually. And now, once again, there's action over at Dylan, Nixon, and Jigs now. Racing down towards Cox side by side between Ruben Freitas and Darren Ruben, getting past Dylan, and he's already up into P15.
And that is 5 positions. Ruben has gone up now and hoping looking to go up even more. The intermediate tyres may be the quicker tyres at the moment. We saw that in Spa last round, so we'll keep an eye if that's up. But look at that, Ninu P2. He has, with the start he wants, already got a 1.5 second gap. Toro onto the back, and Mavericks is formed in as well. Because he's got 3 positions now. He knows the track by heart because he lives here. So, down the inside there goes forward. Ending Kevin wide, and can Mavericks do the exact same? That's the interesting part, leading to the outside line coming into this game. Will he be able to do it? He's got the outside line now, making contact side by side, down the inside, and he's done it with just about ease there. Perfect move down the inside, got himself into P4, and then for the podium that he has, with an amazing run off the head.
What a move by Mavis and Toro on pole sitter Kevin. Down 3 positions already. Mavis up 4, Nicholson up 6, and Ruben Freitas up 5 positions. So a few winners and losers. Vasas though losing 8, Werner losing 7, and now it's also close to Mavis and Toro. These Reds are really working on the Red Bull here. As he's able, and I must say the move he did very smart, just waiting, going through with Toro and then getting it on the outside and then to the inside of the second part of the chicane. But still, Tia's out in front, 2 seconds ahead of Nilu, who's a further 1.3 seconds ahead of Toro, as Maver still looking to line up a move. Look at this, he's trying from left to right, trying to set up the move, even more wheel banging between the two, coming out of left field now onto Woodcut, and on the old pit straight, even more wheel banging. Mavers, he's just barged his way through, but that's what you gotta do when the conditions are like this. You can't be Mr. Nice Guy. You gotta force your way through a bit, as Kevin is now looking to get past Toro as well, as Toro struggling there, going through cops.
The home man already onto the podium hopes so far, but it's still wet conditions and we've got a long race ahead of us. So will he be able to keep it up? Well, we'll find out in 24 laps time, but until then he's got to try and keep up his pace, hopefully catch up with Milu. It's looking like these wet tyres are the quicker tyres. Let's keep an eye on Ruben, still P15 at the moment. He's got a 6/10 gap there from the car in front, which is Lucek and the Haas. So that's going to be interesting. Will he be able to catch him in time? Haas behind the ex-G-man there, who had a few incidents last round, but he seems to be, well, that's actually, that gap is increasing between those two, and Ruben is really getting close to this one. He's getting even closer through the chicane area, looking at the Alpine and the Drix and Lucek. Is that Lucek? No, it's not. It is ACM, and they're both going to go at it as well. We've seen Drix, the previous champion here, is trying to go up into the top of the tables. But he's going to get past quite a few players. Lucas on P11 there, comfortably sitting there, but let's keep an eye on our front runners as well. Navas is already catching Milo. Navas is already found it. He's terrible boy.
Yeah, and you can see the drivers running to form, but look at the spray as well, and there's also a few puddles, so the wets are definitely the faster tyre, and it doesn't seem like the rain's letting up just quite. Nedzo, how's it looking in the pit lane? Are the engineers, are they stretching out their hands, or are they using their computers to see how much it's raining and for how long?
This is a difficult thing because it's clear that if there is a difference between two tyres, it's not much because you look at Tiaz and you look at Maver's, those are the two fastest guys on each tyre. Tiaz's last time was a 45.8, Maver's was a 46.1. There's maybe a couple of tenths in it for which tyre is actually better, but it's also about looking further down the road. Is it going to dry up or is it going to get wetter? If it's going to get wetter, the wet tyres are the correct tyre to be on. If it's going to get drier, the winters are the correct tyre to be on. So it's just basically throw it up into the air and see what's going to happen, really. I can't tell you who's going to toss. Yes.
Heads or tails? Heads, it gets wetted. Tails, it gets dry. Right now, it seems like it's staying about the same. However, that dry line's starting to form, so the Inters will be able to warm up and they won't be aquaplaning as much as possible, as we've seen that quite a bit now. It's further behind them. The fight for P10, the last points paying position between Mick, Froby, Jigs and ACM has resumed, and you can see there on your timing ladder that all manner of mayhem is going on now. Side by side through the final two corners, it's the Racing Bull of ACM and Jigs now. Jigs to the inside of Club Corner, and he's managed to get the move down the Racing Bull of ACM. Look at Ruben Kratos getting involved, getting the two, or trying to get both of them. He's gotten one. ACM tries to switch back on the champion, but it just does not get it. Ruben Kratos moving up one more position then. Who's on the inches? These guys on the wets then, and he's trying once again. Most of these drivers, mostly Ruben Kratos and Mavis, they set up the move like 3 or 4 corners earlier by just going in a bit deep, straightening out the wheel earlier, getting on the power. That's exactly what I did coming out of Village, and now side by side down the Wellington straight towards Brooklyn. There you go. He's got the inside and he's got P12 from Jigs, just like that. Unless Jigs, yeah, for half a second he thought he could fight back right about now, but now Ruben is gonna set his sights on the next target, and that is Froby in the Mercedes.
Ruben, this far line is forming more and more, which is giving the intermediate guys this more room to warm up and only pace off. So the gap for Nilu and Mavis has also been changing quite a bit. It looks like Nilu had a bit of a slide there, which allowed Mavis to try and catch up as much as he can now, but it's still not enough. It is his 3 turns that he is dropping. He is using his pressure all along, but it's still not enough to get past. Yes, with a 5-second gap already dominating this race. And look at that, Mavis straight to the pit lane. He's the first wet compound tyre to go into the pit lane. And is it time for the intermediates to come on?
Nedzo, how's it looking in the pit lane? Surely it's the intermediates for the Red Bull, and there's more cars following suit.
Yeah, I guess this must be for intermediates. He was struggling on those tyres, not just in terms of pace, but he already has 2 track limits warnings, which in the wet very much surprises me. Dylan gets a time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and that's another thing you need to focus on. The braking distances in the wet are obviously a lot greater than they are in the dry, and especially if you use the racing line, it tends to lie to you until you can brake a lot later than you actually can.
And look at Nico's son, he's trying to do a switch like they're a speed crazy. If he can work with the wet compound tyres, it's really interesting whether who's got a better grip out of both of them. It seems to be the speed daisy tries to find just a bit more grip. And Nico's on the trying to fight on this time off the Wellington straight. Is he going to do it? Sends it, and he absolutely aced it there. Into P6 he goes, but all the other drivers are going in for the intermediate tyres. Surely these guys will be hopping in soon. Ruben already up into P10 there, onto the back of P8 there on Nick. Remember, Ruben's in the intermediate tyres, so he must be flying through now if they are definitely the right tyres. And look at that gap, he's already increased now, going to Top's corner. Looking to move down the inside, he's done it already. He doesn't even have to wait before he even makes a move, and he's already starting off ahead. I'm sure that gap between him and Nick will change in just a few seconds. And now, Ruben sets off to Stay Daisy, and Nicholson maybe pitting soon, but side by side between ACM and Gina. Gina looks for the move there, and slips through ahead through Meckers and Beckers now. But can ACM catch up this time? You can hear the engine just trying to rev as much, trying to find that grip, and really they're up aquaplaning the whole way. But Gina has managed to find that grip already. Mothers is already on the hunt, because he's already just on Verna there, and he's just ahead. So, intermediate tyres are by far the quickest.
Yeah, you can see that coming out of Lutfield. The traction and grip Ruben had compared to Mick was ridiculous. He closed up quite a few tenths just in the traction zone alone, and then managed to get a move done going in the cup straight. Actually, hasn't he pretty much done it already ahead of Cups. But he's now up to P7 with a few more drivers on the wets hitting onto the Inters. I wonder if, I mean, it is certainly drying. Is it getting dry all the way to dries? That seems a bit of a stretch right now. You can still see clouds are overhead, rain is still falling. It's going to take an absolute miracle for us to see any sort of slicks here tonight. That is for sure. But Mavers now, he's lining up the next move, and that move is on Vastas to the inside at Adrian, and he's cut that move down. Very aggressive, very punchy from Mavers, just as we expect from him, and we have seen today already on Total, just as an example. And he's already looking at the back of the Hazard Lucek then, after just pretty much a straight, then going a bit wide, so experimenting with different lines in the wets. Of course, these are his first couple laps on the Inters then, but once again, just manages to get the traction down, uses in his battery now, and towards Cups once again. Tell you what, Cups was not on my bingo list as a place where we'd see quite a few overtakes, especially in the wet.
And that was an impressive move there. And look at that, that's there going off track for Fox. The rectified cars definitely are done. So it's time to move to the Inters, and I'm sure the guys will know, because Mavras is absolutely flying, rolling onto the back of Fogo there. Can he do the move? And he will now. There we go, round the outside now, on the back straight, and he has done it with ease. He makes it look so easy, doesn't he? Look at that, he is absolutely flying up the field now. He knows he can try and get up. He's got Ruben really ahead of him on the, he's the only intermediate combined tyre up ahead of him. So that would be a big challenge, but we know Ruben's already on the home. Chicks into the pit lane there for the, obviously will be the intermediate tyres. But Ruben is trying to catch up to Nico. We know Nico has got some good pace in the rain, but it's not enough to beat Ruben, because Ruben is absolutely flying on this stint. He knew the intermediate tyres were going to be the right tyres. But as you're seeing, I can't imagine these pits will be coming out anytime soon.
Absolutely. Nedzo, I was looking down at the pit line, surely Inters, I mean, we pretty much confirmed it that Inters are the quickest tyre, but it doesn't seem like the rain, or it seemed like the rain stabilized itself a bit now, hasn't it?
It does seem that way, and you said earlier that you don't think we can get the dry, but I think that's easily possible with the way that it's currently drying out. And although yes, it's cloudy, you can have cloudy races in the dry, as Ruben just easily gets past Nico, so like he's basically not even moving there. But that has basically saved Ruben's race. Going for the right strategy at the start. Started 20th, is now P6, and he's only, well, about 20 seconds, I'd say, off of the lead in total. Yeah, 21 seconds off the lead. So if he gets this strategy right, he could still be in this. He'd have to gain a second a lap. Well, this is Ruben we're talking about. He could easily still get on the podium.
Yep. Absolutely. Kia's going even quicker, so it's a new fastest lap of the race, man, as G-Man Gaming is lining up Jigs, who is on his outlap right now. He was just in the pit lane, and yeah, that is a very clear dry line that we've got right now. Oh, that's a 3-second time penalty for the Aspen. Going into the pit lane is Nicholson. Let's have a quick look at penalties more time. So, lap 8 out of 26 then, and we have 2 3-second time penalties for track limits. It's G-Man and ACM, and Dylan picked up a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane earlier on.
But that is interesting there, because that was a slide there from Jix, and Jix makes a mistake. G-Man looks for the move down the inside into the chicane. Can G-Man do it? He goes deep a bit, and he's managed to just keep it. Jix goes to the switch back there. It's a switch that's going to work onto the side for the straight. Jix has got the line on the inside line now, coming up across the line, and it looks like G-Man's managed to get the dry line, but all of a sudden, Jix finds that gap and tries to go for it. G-Man not giving up this at all. Coming through turn 1 and turn 2, and looks like G-Man's comfortable with that position there. Jinx is still looking, he's not giving up this position. Our previous winner here has gone for it, and he's trying to go again, but no one snatching the rear there, and it looks like G-Man in the has managed to creep away, which is an unbelievable fight there. And as I say, Nico-san and Slade Daisy. Nico-san for the outside line there. Slade Daisy got the bit of the dry line, few pedals on the rumble strip there. Looks like Nico-san managed to find the grip and has slotted through there. So, Dincho and Mick both going to try and work together at the ground to hopefully get up. But we know that Dincho is probably going to watch this fight and hopefully try and move up when he can.
Well, we were expecting not a lot of fights. We're getting fights. They might not be for the lead, but this midfield is probably the closest midfield we've ever had in VDRL. You have the likes of Nicholson, Stay Daisy, Dincho, Mick, Jigs, G-Man, all of these guys fighting for what is essentially like 2 or 4 points. Oh, hold up, we got the new point system. Hold up, I got. How many points is it for P10 now? Does someone know?
About 20 or 30.
20. Alright, so they're fighting for 20 points now. The inflation has hit the VDRL point system, ladies and gentlemen.
And that's what we want to hear, especially in the UK. But look at that, Incho is going to try and catch up to Daisy as much as he can. Daisy's really not having the one he wants out that loss. He had a bit of a split of career, so that's losing more time to McLaren. We know the McLarens are the home guys here, alongside Aston Martin as well. But you want these guys to try and get up as much as they can. Incho still trying to find that grip wherever he can. And it looks like Daisy is really under a bit of pressure now. And look at that, snaps in the rear as they head on to the Wellington straight. But it's really interesting now because there's no rain. And look at that, Incho going to cool down his tyres a bit more. Just making sure that he's not going to overdo them whilst coming off the Wellington straight there. And it's just going to be a bit of a racing game now to see what the weather is going to play out. But look at that, Incho is all over the back of Daisy. He's waiting for that move.
Sorry, got distracted. My neighbours are barbecuing and it smelled bloody fantastic. And I'm well hungry now. But I'm also hungry for some racing action. As you see, Daisy going a bit wide, so we saw Incho there cooling down his tires. These guys struggling with tires overheating. Toto going quicker, and Toto is actually catching up to Neely now in P2. And there you see the times are 7/10 quicker than Neely's best time. These guys, honestly, they might just wait until it's time for six. Thing is, Nezo, you mentioned it can be dry when it's cloudy. Yes, but the sun is a powerful, deadly laser, which dries the track quicker than just air temperature of these cars driving around. As there's actually front wing damage to that Ferrari. Front right end plate is gone, I believe. Yes, it is.
He's driving down to the pit lane, so Nezo, over to you.
That is, it's stayed into the box, so he's clearly had some sort of incident there with Dincha. That'll be a disastrous thing for him because, I mean, he might be able to take some inches to the end if the rain doesn't get any heavier, or sorry, any lighter or heavier, to be fair. But it's just going to put him right down back at the tag, and he's going to leave him with nowhere really to go unless it's a safety car. So that was a really bad situation for him to be in. But what I would say is to watch out for Mayverse because his lap last time was the exact same as Tiaz's. He's doing incredibly well, and also Ruben is on two track limits warnings. He's on 2 track limits warnings, so he needs to watch himself after this race. He does need to be a good boy. He's a good boy for me usually, so he should be a good boy on the racetrack.
Wow, well, what a race it has been already. Tiaz once again go quicker. Lap 11 out of 26 has our race leader just started soon halfway through, and we've had enough action for what would be a normal 52 lap race around here. But we're not done yet then, as it is still drying, so we might even see flakes then. I think it's stopped raining actually. There is a tiny bit of rain actually, or it might just be what's coming off the car. And as Jigs picks up a 360, and once again we see a car going wide through cups, and that's becoming a reoccurring theme then. Mavis back into the pit lane to retire.
That's incredibly odd. He was in the points, and I get he lost a potential win. I get he lost a potential win, but he's just come in and retired for what seems like no reason. Remember, I'm pretty sure this inflated point system was brought in to stop people who are outside of the points from like coming into the pits and retiring because they have no chance of getting any. But now, I think this is twice now in this season, so I think Nicholson did it in Saudi Arabia, where a driver is well on for some points and they just retire. I don't get this.
I don't get it either. I was really gunning to have like, him on all the tires, just undercutting all the guys in front. Maybe not PS because they were doing the same lap times, but Nilu, Toto, Kevin, the guys he was fighting with before he stopped, right? Sure, his tires were starting to get old, but he could have gone another 6, 7, 8 laps and no problem.
Yeah, that's just frustrating for me. Now, I'm pretty sure this. Like, I had a slight inkling of a hope that Tiaz was going to get some sort of clinch, but I don't think that's going to be. I think we're just going to see him romp off into the distance.
Yep, without a safe car or without a terribly timed pit stop for him. That's probably what's going to happen here. As I am seeing a bit of a train forming, Martin, if we can go there. It seems like it's around where Haas is. They're just coming around Woodcut now. Yeah, this is a train then. Probably the closest bit of action we have right now. Excuse me. Yeah, is a fight for the for the midfield essentially. And you have who do you have? You have G-Man, you have Jigs, ACM, Luchek. Yeah, pretty much everyone down to Werner is here. Stay Daisy picking up a 3-second time penalty as well. Osman in the Mercedes, he's been absolutely nowhere this race. Down in P19, probably like 2 or 3 pit stops I think he's done at this point. Nico-san has set the fastest lap of the race.
I think that's partly due to the fact that he's intermediate so well younger than everyone else. Decided to bide it out on those wets for a lot longer. He might be close to the end. What it also means is the track is probably drying out quicker than it was before. Because if people are constantly just going faster and faster and faster, it means that the track is just constantly drying and drying and drying. So I think that is what we're seeing. That racing line is becoming even more more bone dry, and that's good for these drivers, or good for the ones who aren't good in the wet conditions. And it's good for just everyone really, because you'll be able to get more overtakes. Like Jigs, for example, who the man with the most wins in VDR history is currently fighting for 10th place.
Oh, how the mighty has fallen. Or just how everyone else has rise. We know F124 was not the kindest game to him. I think he did about 2 or 3 races on that game before hanging up his boots. But he's come out of retirement, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a season or 2, and I really do hope that I think he's a great guy and a great racer. I really hope he's back up there fighting with Kevin. More time, if we can get Jamie Ray back, that would be fantastic as well. You know, maybe, what was his name? Classy? Something like that. Yeah, if we can get him back as well, you know, make a, like, OG race for all of us old folks. You know, get Rosengin back. Limitless as well, all the above. Get him back for one, like, 5-lap race around Suzanne working backwards.
Yeah. Yeah, Jinx, he has 34 wins in VDRL in total.
Who's got second most? It's got to be Kevin, right?
Kevin, he's on 26. Ruben is on 25.
That is ridiculous, because I remember Ruben, early F123, when I first started commentating, that man was like a P5 to P10 finisher.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden he won a race in Austria, or actually almost won a race in Austria, and all of a sudden he was racing out.
Yeah. Ruben is one of those guys who's kind of risen up through the field. There are other guys who've been quick from the start and ever since, but he's one of those guys who's been just quick, who had to build up to it. I think Jig still has, of all the big kind of names, I think he does have the highest win percentage, because I think he got his 34 wins. Initially it was in like 76 starts, but now it's in about 91 because he's done a lot of starts since and not won.
Still every third race a race win, almost.
Yes. Yeah, I think he's won at like 20 different tracks.
Wow. Yep, that man certainly was a machine. He was a well-oiled one. Now, getting a bit rusty, but he's scraping off the rust day by day as there's yellow flags for sector 1. Green flags against them everyone.
He might have been stayed, not mistake, he's the other one, Kevin. Kevin had a mistake of some sort, because the yellow flag is just as he was passing through arm.
Yeah. Interesting. Anyway, Jigs on the back of him. Nicholson once again goes, and Todas caught up to Nilo now. He's within less than a second. Of course, Dira's not available while it is raining, so he's going to have to wait for that. Rain has certainly let go, but the guys who have not pit yet, they're going to have to stretch their tires quite a bit, because it is still raining quite a bit, and with the track still being damp and off-racing line still pretty wet, they're going to have to wait a bit more. And, you know, at some point they're just going to have to bite the bullet and go for Intus.
Yeah, the thing, I'll tell you something. I think that either Tiaz is saving tyres, or Nilo is just faster at the point of the race. For the last 2 laps, Nilo has been faster, and he's gaining now on Tiaz. Either Tiaz is just conserving and he's going to try and go to the end on those tyres, or Nilo is pushing to either go for a second stop, or he thinks he's going to dry up. Jix has decided to go for the medium. That's a stupid decision. He's gone for the mediums.
Wait, what?
Jix has gone for the mediums.
Alright, Mark, go on board with this, man. Alright, let's have a look here. Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to see that the Ferrari engineers have invaded the French team. So here we go, going round farm then I believe this is. And on to the loop. I keep forgetting this shit, man. Now on to the round to straight away. He actually had quite alright traction on there, much better than I was expecting. But this is the real test now. Going into Brooklyn, the lateral load on the tires are quite a bit. You can just see he is tiptoeing his. Tell you what, he might have forgotten to change his tires. Like, what tire will be next?
No, I think that I think by default it would put you on the inters. He might have changed. They had no reason to come in otherwise. He was trying to be smart with the weather, and well, this is not a smart.
Let's see how he takes cups. Fifth gear.
He's not all over the place, but he's already lost 2 seconds to turn on this lap. So.
Honestly, Tiaz, if I would be Tiaz, I would probably box, because you could make... I mean, no, never. It is quite a long pit stop, isn't it, around here?
Yes, because it's because of the entrance to the pit lane, you have to... Yeah, it's the same because in Sochi, because the corner on there was... corner going into the pit lane there was quite sharp, they made it 37 miles an hour there as well, it's the same with Silverstone. And because of this stupid new... you said you like this Vale section, it's nowhere near the level the old Vale section was before we went into Vale and then to Bridge Corner and then through Priory. That was a much better layout overall, and it also had the corner names that you actually know, like Priory, Bridge, Vale, not...
they changed going into 09, right?
No, it was after... it was... They changed the layout going into 2010, and they changed what start-finish line was in 2011, so 2010 was the last race that had the start-finish line at Cops, or going to Cops.
And I'm assuming they did that because Cops is a very scary corner. To be fair, the new turn 1 is kind of like Cops.
Yeah, I assume they thought that because it's like flat-out run, you kind of have more chance of overtake, but I genuinely think that... Don't get me wrong, the new section is good for kind of wheel-to-wheel racing. It's better for wheel-to-wheel racing than the bridge layout was. But it's been better, and I just think the bridge layout was out there. I mean, I walked on the bridge layout of the circuit when I went to Silverstone for the Grand Prix in 2023. It was a nice, cool hardback to pass because they had like a tunnel, and that's why they call it bridge, because there was a bridge on it and it has a tunnel. And they had murals of David Coulthard and Jim Clark and Jackie Stewart and stuff. Apparently they're demolishing Bridge Corner now to make a kart circuit.
Huh. Why not incorporate Bridge Corner into the kart circuit?
Well, to be fair, it would be like you've got F1 like 20-meter corners and you've got a kart circuit. It would kind of ruin it.
No, flat out, mate. Easy.
Yeah, I do a lot of karting actually. I went karting the other day and got to the leaderboard on my local circuit.
Nice. It's Nilu coming into the pit lane. So he's the first of the leaders to bite the bullet there and deciding that it's got to be Intis, right? I mean, if he goes on to 6th then Nilu, I'm sorry, there's no saving you.
Yeah. I mean, he is in the other Alpine, so maybe Gypsy's giving him feedback.
Well, the feedback should be, this is shit, don't do it.
Yeah, he's on the Inters. Yeah, he's getting on the Inters. Nilu then coming out to the pit lane. He'll come up behind Ruben, most likely. Oh no, Ruben's also in the pits, so no, he's not going to come up behind Ruben. This is going to be interesting. Gypsy gets a 3-second time balance. I don't know how you can go fast enough to get track limits warnings when you're on your...
That is impressive.
Yes. Well, Jix is like Daniel Ricciardo, if Daniel Ricciardo was actually like a champion level driver and a light person.
So what, that's the best statement you've ever made about RLF1.
Yes. I don't know how people rate Ricciardo. He was
I don't.
13. He was just about better than Vettel. Like I think Vettel was demoralised. He was worse than Kvyat in 2015. He was worse than Verstappen in 2016 and 17 and 18. And then, well done, you beat Nico Hulkenberg just. Like, he was a lot closer to Hulkenberg than he should have been. He beats Ocon, who was out of the game for a year. Gets destroyed by Lando freaking Norris in 21 and 22, and then gets destroyed by Yuki Tsunoda in 23 and 24. Like, where is this kind of, oh my god, he was a champion level driver come from? He deserved maybe 2 of his wins.
Yep, I fully agree with you on that one. I don't understand the hype around him.
Yeah.
Anyway, Kia's coming into the pits. Yeah, Toto as well. And Kevin's got a puncture. Kevin's got a rear left puncture. He's staying out 1 lap too low.
2 races in a row. That's 2 races in a row.
This man, the pit lane's too right. He's coming in. Yeah, there we go. 2 races in a row now. Kevin gets a puncture. Once again, just being too stubborn to want to pull the trigger first then. As, yep, he's going to limp into the pits then. As he's not even going the pit limit. No, it is. Okay, yeah, he pretty much is. Ruben, 3-second time penalty. Nilu's going to be coming out in P2, I imagine. Chase has now retired from the session in the pit lane, so going on to mediums did not seem to work.
Yeah.
As yeah, I honestly have no idea. I'll be completely. I mean, it looks bone dry out there.
Yeah.
And look at the stewards. They've not got umbrellas up or anything. Look, the Formula 1 because they don't have the windshield wipers on.
Yeah, I know. Right. So, Tiaz is in, Nilu's come in, and Toro's come in. Do you think that Nicholson's going to try and push to the end, or he's going to wait for potentially dry circumstances?
Sorry, please repeat. You were cutting out.
Said, do you think that Nicholson's going to try and push to the end, or is he going to try and wait for dry circumstances? Because it is definitely getting drier.
I reckon if... Oh, wait, hold up. Is this a lap car? No, this is... Oh, that's the retiring Alpine. I reckon he's going to stay out, but, like, when dries are quicker, he's going to put them on. But he's not going to pit for Inters again.
Yeah. I genuinely think we could get dry conditions before the end of this race, because... Like before, you could see the wet patches off of the racing line. They were quite substantial, but now they pretty well blend into the racetrack. As soon as that rain stops, I feel like we will be only maybe 1, maybe 2 laps away from fully dry track.
Offline, it's also going a lot drier.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like searching for tarmac or wet tarmac. Yeah, Nilu going fastest. I'm not surprised at that. He's been in these kind of inter-slip conditions that we've been seeing, he's been faster than Tiaz, and saying that is very, very high praise for Nilu there. This man can get his first ever race win, and it will be very deserved. It'd be like Pastor Maldonado in Spain in 2012. He was another underrated driver.
Maldonado, yep, 100% what he did on that one was impressive considering his teammate was nowhere near him, as now Kevin looking to get back up the grid then, up to P6, getting past Dinshaw, which, I mean, yeah, Dinshaw, 14 lap old Inters, like taking candy from a baby.
Ruben past Nicholson there, into 4th place, Williams 3-4.
Oh, those are going a bit wide as well.
Yeah, those two are doing very well in the Constructors title this year.
They've been doing well for pretty much the entire year.
Yeah, it's annoying because they never leave each other. It's like they are.
I reckon next year here, put Toro with Nilu. No, put Toro with Dincho and Kevin with and Ruben with Ramos.
What I think they should do is they should make it so that you don't get to choose your team. I think what they should do is so the guy who wins the championship, reigning champion, gets the worst driver from last season. The second best driver gets the second worst driver from last season. The third gets the third worst. The fourth gets the fourth, so on and so on and so on. So you basically get like
Red Bull last year's scenario.
The most average because when you get close to the limit, they're like the 10th and 11th driver, and they'll be nice and that's one of the McLarens off. That's Mick who's spun, and he's also got a puncture.
Guys, this isn't F1 24 where you can take tires 25 laps. Oh dear. He is now popping a wheelie, I think. I think his front right is not touching the surface.
Yeah, it's not touching the ground.
Yeah, he's... Oh, don't do that!
He's ghosted, it's alright.
Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah.
Come on, mate, put your throttle down, put some effort into it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I wish they simulated in this game. Bodywork damage from punctures.
Yeah. Oh, and then Nicholson's got a puncture. And he's a long way from home. He needs to be there entire left.
Oh my god, he's not even getting the point after this. Oh my god.
That's like Bottas 2020 gets a puncture as he passes the main straight.
Yeah. So drivers are genuinely like he was trying to push out. He was only on 12 lap old tyres as well.
I'm telling you, this game is crazy. Oh, and he's done it again.
What guy like Dincho? What was he done to those tyres to make them last that long?
That is. Can we go on Dincho real quick? Let's see. Can we see some visual? Because most of the time you can see a bit. No, onboard more time, please. Looking forward. There we go. Looking. That's backwards. There we go. Because usually you can see like the outside is a bit lighter, but you see it better on 6. Yeah, someone's on softs. Phobie on softs. Nicholson's gone off.
Yeah, Nicholson's gone off.
He was on for a good result.
Yeah, he was, and then
They're now staring into a fence. Oh, come on, game! The guy lost a minute doing that. Oh, and he's gonna be 7th in the pit lane. This is gonna be a painful pit stop, isn't it? Oh, they just got a puncture. Or does he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at the suspension. It's gonna be rewrite, right?
Well, he came in at the exact right time if he did.
To be fair, it's a free pit stop essentially.
Yeah, because Human's quite far behind. Stay Daisy also into the pit lane. I think it is because he's on interslick conditions, so the tyres cannot clear that.
Yeah, they work quicker. Yeah.
They just
Nicholson's coming in.
falling out.
Yeah. It was a great day in the office, and it's just gone crashing down.
It was 6th at the start of what was his look at his lap time. It's 2 minutes 30. He hasn't even got around to the end of the lap yet.
I have a feeling they got the puncture as his car hit 80% because it's 80% now, not 75.
Yeah. And Stay Daisy, Loose Check, and Vast have all gone to mediums. Okay. This is going to get interesting because Phobie, I particularly quick. I don't think Phobie's been particularly quick, but he might have been. I might have been deceived.
DRS enabled.
DRS is never. Toro's in! Toro's the first man to come into the pit lane. This is spicy in these last few.
This is interesting. What do the leaders do now? Toro in. None of them have softs left. They've all thrown them away in quality.
Yep, and I assume maybe, I don't know, maybe soft sauce such bad tires that they burn out after 5 laps. Kevin sets fastest lap.
But
he does that while he comes into the pits. He did that while he was coming into the pits. Kevin did that. So he's done what Schumacher did in 1998. Yeah, so Kevin came into the pits and set the fastest lap. That is utterly strange. Oh, and he's hit the wall on the exit of the pit lane because he got a massive bout of oversteer. What a plonker.
That's gonna give him tire wear. That gives you tire wear now.
Yeah. Right. We'll have to
I'll probably give you a puncture. Imagine that. Yeah, you missed out on a funny feature here.
Yeah, Toro's
look in the code. If car hit wall equal puncture. Especially if wall pit exit wall.
Yeah, Toro's getting massive time on the guys in front of them. They need to win now. Tiaz has stayed out. Tiaz has lost this race.
He's gonna have to take it to them now. No, I reckon Toro's gonna be 2-2. After Nilu and Rudin.
Here. Rudin's not coming either. But Toro, we'll check what the lap was last time out. I mean, we can look at the second.
Purple sector 2.
Yeah, so then in the second sector, just set a 39.1, he set a 37.4, and that's in one sector. Yeah.
Where's Nilu? Can you go on board with Nilu? Because he's going on soft.
He's on soft tyres. He's just coming out the pit lane now.
Is he going to be ahead? I reckon he is.
This is going to be. Yeah, he is. This is going to be like this is like the 2008 Belgian Grand Prix. And in that race, there was weather for it. It's the other way around because it was dry the entire race, and then on the last couple of laps it started raining. Fernando Alonso pitted going on to the final lap of the race and gained, I think it was 5 positions.
Yeah, that's a long track as well. Oh, and to the wall goes Werner. I forgot Werner race, to be completely honest. Nothing against you, Werner.
And I think he's got a puncture? No, he hasn't. I'm so used to seeing cars going lopsided and thinking they have punctures. Yeah, but Diaz surely has to come in this lap because
I don't think he will. Oh no, Willow is going to be leading, I reckon.
Yeah, Willow is gaining like seconds.
Kilu is about to get overtaken by lap cars. If we go back on board with him.
He's still staying out. Diaz is staying out. Why is he staying out?
Look at that. That's the lap car. That's the lap pass of Lucek overtaking our race leader.
Yes, because the tyres are faster. I don't know why he's decided to say. Lucek is setting fastest lap. Phobie's setting fastest lap.
It's 3 laps left. Nilu needs to close in 10 seconds a lap.
And I think he can do it.
I think it's too much.
So the leaders are currently setting, what laps are they setting? They're setting 35 ones. What were they setting in qualifying? Was it 25s?
Yeah.
I mean, if those inters keep getting worse, and more importantly, if they overheat and start wearing more.
They're only 6 laps old though. I reckon he's got it.
Miller's going to try anyway. Miller's definitely got Ruben. He's definitely got Ruben.
Yeah. He used to gain 3.6 seconds. Because of that 3 seconds.
Yeah. But he's going to get him on track, I think, anyway. Kevin says they are 5 seconds a lap faster.
That's not enough. They're going to be 10, mate.
But that gap is going to keep going down. That gap is going to keep going down in terms of how the differential. Tiaz is... This is the thing. I think those tyres are completely shot in terms of overheating as well. Someone's just gone off. It's Toro! Toro spun!
Oh, no! Anyway.
Toro spun. I think he might lose a position to Remus here, but he'll get it straight back even if he does, because he's on Inters.
Yeah. But that's... now Toro does not have a chance of getting Ruben.
No, I don't think he does. Unless those tyres genuinely do just completely fall off. Because those Inters will probably be burning about 10% a lap, because these are the wrong conditions to be in.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like that Minecraft, what's it called, tutorials. Always use the right tool for the job, and this is not the right tool for the job.
He's using an axe to mine diamonds.
Yes. He's using a hoe to try and pull girls. Actually, no, that kind of works. Anyway, Remus passes Toro, even though he's on the Inters. I don't know what's happening to Toro here.
Front wing damage, maybe?
Maybe.
Yep, front left. I saw that from the onboard. Front left, look at that.
Yep. Wow. And Milo last lap competitive. See, I don't know why are Inters fast, like a 33.5, like why are they that fast? Why are they only 3 seconds slower in fully dry conditions?
I don't know. They should turn into slim intermediates, mate.
That they should be at minimum 10 seconds slower. And now Milo can move up to his first race win. I think we should give Tiaz a 20-second time penalty for not pitting for softs. all in favour say aye.
You. Milo is getting overtake. The Williams. Oh, be careful, boys. Don't want to crash on lap 25 or 26. Just ask Chips and Kevin. They'll tell you.
Yeah, no.
Anyway,
So,
TSS started the last lap of the Grand Prix.
and it's a joke that he's even in this position right now. Absolutely.
That's a hashtag not blessed.
I hope he gets a puncture.
Mate, they're 8 laps old, there's no way.
But they were burning so much. They should be burning so much. Please have a puncture. Because he does not deserve to win this race in terms of this game does make no logic. Kevin has passed Toro.
Yeah, Toro's front wing damage.
I have nothing against Tiaz, but I hope his tyre punctures because he should not be winning this on those tyres. I
don't with Tiaz, Martin.
Not race.
Or the final component, the final sector, rather. 22nd. I reckon even if he gets a puncture now, he'll win.
This is absolutely, utterly shambolic.
He's 6/10 of his best time.
This game needs to be ejected into a bin, like genuinely. How can you race up intermediates for multiple laps and you still not lose a pit stop distance to the dry runners? Absolutely a joke.
Anyway, TS, he's got one more corner to go. He led from pole and he led, I think, every lap of the Grand Prix, and he wins it by 80. Hold up, that gap's still coming down. And what made that race win is that gap he pulled in the opening stint when it was raining. Because in the half dry, Neil was quicker. When it was dry, it wasn't a debate. Neil crosses the line for P2. Excellent start then, getting past Kevin. Ruben Huertas is going to pick up another podium then, as, totally threw it away earlier. Kevin just got past Remus, yeah. Anyway, Kevin from P2 on the grid, it's only going to be P4, so he loses out further on the championship. But Remus, what a drive from him then. P5 then, going, I think, we're into or something like that, into. Toto then, even with front wing damage, running out of fuel as well. You want to take the rest of it, and then I'll have to get going.
Okay, absolutely. Dincho. Bit of a quiet one from Dincho, but he's managed to come in for a very solid P7, I think, here, especially with no time penalties or anything like that. That's a pretty good run from him. Stave Daisy will be next. Yeah, before I ran, had a couple of ups and downs. At one point was right near the back and then managed to recover. Lizchek, I talked to him before the race and he said that he was just going to help us for points, and I suppose he's got that with this 9th place finish. Vastus, he's not the fastest, he's only P10. And Schroeder will be the last man on the lead lap, finishing in 11th place. Not a bad run for some of those drivers there. It was definitely a joke that intermediates can not lose a pit stop distance in 3 laps in fully dry conditions, like bone dry conditions, is an absolute joke. I think that this game should be fixed with that. It should be at least a 10-second per lap loss. Or your tyres should just go like 20% a lap, so it's just completely what's the word? Unsustainable. But there's Tiaz with his golden trophy that should have gone to Nilo. If I was Nilo, I would do what Vettel did. I would do what Vettel did at the 2019 Canadian Grand Prix, where he pulled the what's it called, the number 1 board in front of his car. That's exactly what I'd do, because that was a robbery. How the tyres not grade like that? I would just genuinely not be happy with that. But I suppose it's his joint best result in the league's history. It was Ruben who got that P3 from back of the grid. I suppose that was a good job from him. And I'm going to try and go through the rest of the results, but it's not letting me load into the lobby, which is a shame. So I can't go through the rest of the results, but you should be able to remember them all. And if you don't, then shame, because I can't tell you them. We're going to move into the interview booth shortly, at which point we will conduct some talking with the top guys. So yes, we are here in the interview pen with currently just our 3rd place man. We will wait for the other guys to get going, but while we do, I think I will begin the questions for Ruben, our 3rd place finishing. First of all, what happened in qualifying? Why were you so far down? I know you left the session, but was it connectivity issues or something else?
And the thing is, it's a problem that I don't know how to fix. To be honest, only restarting the game and restarting everything of the wheel. It was a wheel problem, because I think the problem is when I turn the wheel to the right, for example, the game detects that it's a controller, so the game wheel turns like a controller, the controller speed. But the thing is it's a game problem. The same happened to me in F1 24, but in Assetto Corsa doesn't happen to me.
That is a very peculiar issue.
Yeah.
But was that happening to you in the race as well?
No, I mean I managed to fix it. That's why I went out, even though I didn't have any time to do a lap to see if the problem was solved or not.
Okay, so you still managed to finish P3, but how was it coming through the field? Because obviously, especially when you had wet conditions to start with, and then you had to handle the transition to dry, even though it didn't fully go to dry. I mean, it did go to dry conditions, but how was it trying to manage all that?
I mean, going through the field, it was a bit tough, and everyone had the wets, had better traction against me. And it was tough until the little path of the racing line went a bit dry, even though it was wet. So the inters were better. Then I get a better pace. I managed to get up to P5, P6, I think, behind of everyone. And yeah, and then later the race a bit boring. only a little fight with Nicholson, and that's it.
So obviously, although it is very good limitation considering where you started. I think it's now with guys like Stay Daisy and Kevin not finishing as high. You pretty much consolidated second place in standings at the moment. When are you looking to properly embark on your title charge? Because you won the first race of the season and you haven't managed to win since. Which races are you looking at in the next couple of events to properly start to embark on a title charge?
I mean, I don't know. I have a little bad luck in late in the races. For example, in this quali in Belgium with the wet, I have broken front wing, so it got me a little bit pace. But I'm watching for. Wait, let me see calendar. Yeah, I'm watching.
Spain. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm watching, of course, for Spain and yeah, the street tracks. That's yeah, street tracks are very late in the calendar, but yeah, they are my best, and I think I can get a lot of points there. And let's see if Tias get off a little bad luck, like me or like Kevin or Toro, finally, and then I can get better points than him, not only P1, P2.
Yeah, you just mentioned Tias there. He was our race winner, and he will be the next person we come to in this short interview segment. So that is your second consecutive win so far. It might have even been a Grand Slam because I believe you also led every single lap. Neely was catching you at the end there, but how did you keep the lead on those intermediate?
At the start, I noticed I had a better pace, so I just started pushing like crazy. And then the gap just kept getting bigger, and at some point I decided, okay, now is enough, because we knew the rain was going to end at some point, but we didn't know when. So I think we all wanted to try and make it till the rain stops with the first set of inters, but nobody managed to do that. And on the second set, it was kind of the same thing, sorta. At first, I just started pushing again because why not? And at the end, I just figured I'd just take it home because I had such a big gap anyway.
And obviously, it definitely wasn't intermediate conditions at the end, foot dry. How bad were your tyres towards the end of the session in terms of tyre wear, in terms of temperatures? And were you...
Your mic cut out a little there. Can you repeat the end?
Absolutely. So towards the end, obviously the tyres were in complete bad nick because it was dry conditions. Were you close to a puncture? And if so, how close were you?
I think I was at about 60% at the end. The tires were absolutely on fire, and I think it was about 10% wear a lap. But they felt pretty okay. They were just like understeery and less grip in general, but it isn't the worst thing ever.
Yeah. If you listen back to my commentary, you'll hear my choice words on the fact that intermediates are only maybe 5, maybe 7 seconds a lap slower than dry conditions on a dry track. But I'm trying to think of a third question. So your championship run is looking pretty good at the moment. You got 2 wins and a second place. So where are you looking to take it from here? Are you just going to try and do proof consistency? Are you going to try and win as many races as possible and go all out? And which circuits are you looking forward to, just like with Rajic?
I think I will just take every race separately. Like, I'll just see what I can do. See if I have the pace to win it, but I won't do anything crazy. Oh wait.
So you aren't a Kevin Van Dyke at heart then. But I think that should cover our amazing coverage of this. Thank you to Jale and Will, who were our commentators earlier in the event, but they had to fall out due to their own personal commitments. That is fine. But this race in Britain was a classic, and I hope that the next time we come around to these events, we will see another classic in Interlagos, which will be round 4. Same time next week. Be there or be square. I'm Nedzo, and we'll see you all later. Bye.